About time for a prime-time play from Dion. Really could give the Cowboys a lift.
Short angled kick, and the Cowboys will get fairly good field position. There's a flag down at the 37-yard line.
That
the
kick
Cowboy 37
could have been a whole lot better, Al.
You know, you think so much about kicking it away from Dion, you can forget about the mechanics from time to time. Joe Wessel is the special teams coach.
That was pretty much of a shank.
And Ron Blum, a golf pro, would know all about shanks, but it's a face mask call against Dallas.
Which, of course, the question now is post-possession or pre-possession. If it's before the kick, that will give Philadelphia a first down. If it's after the kick, it'll just be an assessment against the Cowboys offensively.
15-yard face mask. The foul was committed prior to the kick.
Yes.
Eagles will.
From the previous thought, 15 yards.
Eagles keep the ball. Wow.
That was probably on one of the outside men.
It was 4th and 3. Penalties killed the Cowboys last week in the Arizona game. 12 of them for 115 yards. One negated what would have been a touchdown. And tonight, this is really a killer.
Dallas is really digging themselves a hole.
Here goes the 15-yard walk-off. But more importantly, Philadelphia retains possession of the football.
And you're listening to a sound you don't hear very often at Texas Stadium. First down at the 43-yard line for the Eagles. 2:57 to the half. Garner is in the game. Charlie has the ball. Charlie takes it to the 36-yard line, picks up about 7, and Brock Marion makes the tackle. Detmer, apparently having communication problems, had pointed to his helmet as if to say, I can't hear the call.
With a 17-3 lead, this is a back-breaking drive being put together by the Philadelphia Eagles. Without Ricky Watters, you see right there on the Philadelphia sideline.
Second down and 3. Garner plays bumper cars in the inside. Kevin Turner with a block close to a first down, tackled at the 33 as we'll come down to the 2-minute warning.
Garner's only 5'9", 185 pounds, but he has averaged carrying the ball over 5 yards per carry since he came up as a second-round pick at 94. Very explosive, very quick.
Well, Ty Detmer has come over to the sideline here at the 2-minute warning to try to get his helmet fixed.
2 minutes to the half. Philly by 14. Michaels with Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, and Lynn Swan. 2 minutes left in the first half. A half dominated on both sides of the ball by the Philadelphia Eagles, reflected in that pensive look on the face of Emmitt Smith. It's first down Philly at the Dallas 33-yard line. And Charlie Garner giving Ricky Watters a breather and doing a great job in his stead as Ricky looks on, picks up 3, 2nd and 7.
Well, Ricky does not like to take a breather, I can assure you, but he's looking out on the field, and Charlie Garner is chewing up big chunks of yardage.
And the way Charlie is running right now, I don't blame Ray Rhodes and John Gruden for leaving him out there. Go with the hot hand.
And Ray doesn't mind hurting your feelings, I can tell you that.
2nd and 7 at the 30-yard line. Detmer. Protection begins to break down. Good coverage by Dallas.
And smart play by Detmer.
Third down.
I was so impressed with Detmer's play against Green Bay, and he was hit time and time and time again, and he didn't make the major mistake. He just was pounded over that game by the Green Bay Packers, but he did not make the mistake.
The Eagles rushing the ball for over 6 yards a carry. The Cowboys barely over 3. Very productive, the Eagle running game.
Third down and 7. 4 wideouts, keep it on the ground, give it to Garner. He doesn't get the first down, but he takes it to the 27-yard line, setting up about a 45-yard field goal attempt. The tackle is made by Dexter Coakley, and timeout is taken by Dallas. They have 1 remaining.
And that's well done by the Dallas rookie Coakley. That's a big gain and a first down if he doesn't come up big. Have you gotten your cordless mouse yet?
It's on the way.
You know, you don't have a real computer, Al, if you don't have a cordless mouse.
I understand.
You're an also-ran.
Here's Chris Boniol, who kicked a 49-yarder earlier, this one from 45 yards to try to put the Eagles up by 17. And Boniol's kick is no good. Wide to the left. And that will bring it back to where the ball was spotted, and Dallas will have it at the 35-yard line with 1:06 remaining in the half and 1 timeout. That Philly drive, remember, started at the Eagle 5, was kept alive by the face mask penalty on the punt, and now Dallas gets it back at the 35.
Just putting a little too much into it, coming across it and pulling it to the left. And right now I think the Dallas Cowboys will take their breaks in very small measures, and that was one of them right there.
And it'll be interesting to see what Philadelphia does with defense, because with 1:06 remaining, will they stay with what's worked? Will they go into some kind of a prevent? And it looks like they're going to slip into some kind of a nickel, maybe even a dime defense.
Cowboys no offensive touchdowns in the equivalent of almost 2 full games. Emmitt Smith, and we'll visit with him at halftime. A most interesting fellow, of course, a guy on his way to the Hall of Fame. But tonight, he's been bottled up for the most part. Picks up 8. Second down 2 up at the 43-yard line.
Right now, Emmitt would rather be on his way to the end zone than to Canton.
Aikman throws it over the middle to the 50-yard line. They'll give him the underneath stuff. That's Eric Bjornsson. The clock keeps ticking. The Cowboys have only 1 timeout remaining.
They're going to have to get something a little bigger than that.
They need to move with a little more urgency than they're moving right now. Come on, guys.
Thinking the same thing, Dan.
A lot more alacrity.
That too.
It's caught at the 32-yard line, and that's Anthony Miller hauling it in. They try to wrestle it loose. Philadelphia thinks they have it, but the play,
boy, nobody's rushing to say he's down.
Been whistled dead. It was.
Nobody was really rushing to come up there and point to the ground and say he's down.
And Dallas takes a timeout.
Well, Anthony Miller comes up with the play that they needed. That's his first catch of the night, isn't it?
Troy Vincent tries to wrestle it out.
We'll get a little help here.
And right there is about the time they normally blow the whistle. They go on the forward progress rule, and Miller was tied up. He wasn't going anywhere. That's good timing. And there's bad news for the Cowboys. They are looking at the left leg of the all-world guard, Larry Allen. He has held forth there at the right guard position for the last 3.5 years.
And John Flannery, the backup interior lineman, who can play center or guard, takes his place.
And the Cowboys are really thin on the offensive line. George Hegeman is out. They're down to almost nobody.
I think you're going to see him trying to get 6 to Irvin.
Chris Berman's halftime highlights. The interview with Emmitt Smith coming up at the half. The Cowboys have to make sure when this play ends, they are able to stop the clock, because they don't have a timeout. It's 1st and 10, and Aikman's going to go for 6, and it is not caught. Is there a flag? No. Anthony Miller looks around. Troy Vincent made contact, but legal.
Oh, I don't know who.
From up here,
Miller
it sure
touched
looks
the
like
ball.
Vincent was there early.
And it looked like a great throw. One that could have been caught.
Looked like Troy Vincent went for the arm. Let's take a look at it.
They just played it for everybody in the stadium, and thus the booing. Could have been called.
It's awfully close. You see the football flashing by there.
Well, it didn't get a flag, so it was a great defensive play.
Now 2nd and 10, 14 ticks. They go that way again, and this time we have the flag.
There it is.
He might have got away with it if it wouldn't have been for the right arm at the very end of that around the neck of Miller.
That'll get it every time.
You know, there was body contact prior to that. He might have got away with that. but not with lassoing him around the neck.
In the meantime, the Cowboys with a strategic decision here. Let's see where they're going to spot this football.
Or do they have time for one more play?
Well, you've got 8 seconds.
The pass interference call, number 83 stepped out of bounds. Therefore, he became an ineligible receiver. No pass interference.
Whoa, baby!
Can you believe that he stepped out of bounds?
How many things can go wrong for the Cowboys?
So the interference was after he came back in bounds.
Well, he is technically an ineligible receiver after stepping out of bounds. You can't interfere with an ineligible receiver. It doesn't exist.
And thus we have a 48-yard field goal attempt by Richie Cunningham to end the first half. Ball spotted at the 38-yard line. And Cunningham's kick is good. They'll take a small victory after this half.
They'll take any victory, no matter how minute. Not that 3 points is minute, but another field goal at least gives them something positive to take indoors.
Especially the way it was looking with Philadelphia driving, and they were setting up for perhaps a 20-3 or even 24-3 lead. Here's another look.
There's Miller stepping out right there, and then the interference happened when he came back in. But incredible duels between receivers and cornerbacks here tonight.
You'll not find a more intense matchup. Yeah, you see right there his left foot is out of bounds. You won't find a more intense matchup than what we've seen tonight between both sets of receivers going against both sets of cornerbacks. And Troy Vincent, he's headed to the Eagle locker room, and look at him holding his left arm to his side.
Boy, that would be some loss. With Troy Vincent in there, they are able to take Bobby Taylor, their big cornerback, and lock him up on Michael Irvin. And they've been very successful with that combination.
Willie Clark, Charles Dimry are the backup cornerbacks for the Eagles. I've seen a lot of guys get better at halftime, though, in a hurry.
Particularly on a hot night.
Clock will start when an Eagle touches the football. And barring a penalty, this will be the final play of the first half, and that's the tight end Jimmy Johnson who runs it back out to the 37, and that'll do it for the first half in Irving, Texas. Dominated by the Eagles. A lot of the crowd booing at the half. They haven't seen this happen very often. Ray Rhodes' staff has done a magnificent job, at least through the first 30 minutes in terms of the strategy. Philadelphia leading at the half 17-6, and we'll return after this message from the National Football League and a word from our ABC stations. Eagles as we start the second half. And Philadelphia kicking off. Bonio with a short kick hauled in at the 11-yard line by Herschel Walker. And Walker out past the 40. Walker into Eagle territory, and it just keeps killing the Eagles. Bad kickoff coverage. Joe Avezzano, watching his special teams, put his offense in pretty good shape right now, and Joe Wessel, who came over from the Cincinnati Bengals, just shakes his head again.
Herschel Walker keeps rolling along, doesn't he? In his 12th year in the NFL, 3 years before that, the USFL, and his numbers are just growing with each game.
You know, one of the things that Barry Switzer talked about at halftime, let's get it started with a good kickoff return. We get the ball first. Well, Herschel did his part. Now let's see if the offense comes through.
From the 45-yard line, they begin with Emmitt Smith, and he picks up 5. And we think back to the Monday night game last year in Philadelphia when the Eagles led 10-0, and the Cowboys needed a spark, and it was a run back by Herschel Walker that got them back into a game they eventually won.
Well, nothing will lift you quite like a kickoff return.
Larry Allen still not in the Cowboy offensive line. You see John Flannery there, number 63. He's replaced the all-pro guard, and that's not a help for the Cowboys.
Charles Dimry has replaced Troy Vincent, who was shaken at the end of the first half and is not back. And here is Emmitt Smith picking up the first down to the 34-yard line. Take a look at the numbers through the first half.
If you are just tuning us in, sit down. It has been Philadelphia's football game. They've totally dominated.
And that number is right there on the right side of your screen. 76 total yards for the Dallas Cowboys. 2 turnovers, 10 points for Philadelphia off those turnovers. A miserable first half offensively for Dallas.
And 24 passing yards from the arm of Aikman. And Aikman throws, and it's caught by Irvin, who springs loose. Taylor played him soft, and Michael takes advantage of it, and the Cowboys are in business deep in Philadelphia territory.
That's classic Aikman and Irvin, too. That ball was thrown just as Irvin was planting his foot to move to the outside. Almost impossible to cover. Aikman incredibly accurate. Maybe you can see the combination of the two.
Watch him turn Taylor, though.
Turned him right
the way around. That is not the best of technique by Bobby Taylor. Michael Irvin made him do a 360.
1st and 10 from the 11. Aikman's longest completion of the night. And they go back to Emmett Smith, but doesn't find any. A nice play by Hollis Thomas, knifing through to tackle him.
Second-year guy out of Northern Illinois, and Ray Rhodes again so pleased with the strength that Thomas brings to the interior. You know, we see what Gilbert Brown does up in Green Bay. When you get a guy who's low to the ground, Hollis Thomas, only 6 feet tall, 305, 310 pounds. Every team is really looking for that guy that can't get rooted out of there in the run game.
Keep in mind, we showed you the numbers. Dallas is having a difficult time scoring touchdowns in the red zone.
Fake to Smith, a roll by Aikman. It's the open man. That's Moose Johnston, our first Moose call of the night. Darrell has not been a part of the offense to this point. Short gain here, tackled by James Willis. 3rd down from the 8. 3rd and about 7.
Everywhere you look, one member of the Eagle linebacking corps is making a tackle, either inside or outside. These guys can run. That time it was James Willis. His turn to make the play. These guys have really developed some team speed in Philadelphia. Ernie Zampese there.
He needs to roll a 7.
Yep, and they run out of time. Down to 4 seconds on the play clock. They're still in the huddle. Aikman's got to take a time.
So 3 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Dallas on the move, but still trailing by 11. Last week against Arizona, Dallas was in the red zone inside the 20 6 times, no touchdowns. Here they are now. This fuse ignited by Walker, and now Aikman and the gang try to make it pay off. Walker with a big run back, but it's 3rd down and 6 now from just inside the 8. After the timeout, double tight end set. Troy to throw. Good protection. Knocked away at the last moment by Charles Dimry, who's replacing Troy Vincent, who is out with a strained shoulder, and they tell us now he will not return. David LaFleur, the rookie tight end, was the intended receiver.
Dimry, a good pickup for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been a starting cornerback for a lot of years in the National Football League, most recently with Tampa Bay, and prior to that with Atlanta. He's got 14, 15 career interceptions. Good coverage right here.
LaFleur, a huge target at 6'7", Dimry at 6 feet. Not able to take advantage of the fact that from a height standpoint there was a mismatch. Dimry just all over it.
Richie Cunningham from 25 yards away bangs it through. He's 11 of 12 in his young career. 46, 48, now 25 tonight. He's accounted for all the scoring. Philadelphia 17, Dallas 9. So the Cowboys again settle for a field goal after Herschel Walker had put them in very good shape. They got down into the red zone but settled for 3, and they're down by 8. 17-9 Philadelphia.
They just can't find the end zone.
And Richie Cunningham, 11 field goals in his first 3 games. He breaks an NFL record held for one day by Olindo Mare of Miami. Toby going. A yard into the end zone. Derek Witherspoon, a dangerous return man, brings it back to the 27-yard line. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Coors Light, proud partner of the John Wayne Cancer Institute and their search for a cure. Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. And New Ruffles the Works. Now that's a potato chip.
Now would be a good time for the Dallas defense to step up and do something.
And a time for Ricky Watters to protect the football. What the Eagles don't need now is to give the Cowboys a turnover to make it easy.
From the 27, they give it to Ricky. He protects the football. And Darren Woodson finally wrestles him down, but not until after Ricky picks up 7 to the 34.
It's not a, not a casual remark on the part of Dan, because Ricky's turned it over. He drops that thing about once every 57 times he carries the football. That's an awful lot. Something to think about.
At this stage of the game, when you're trying to, when you have the lead on the road, don't make it easy by giving them a turnover.
2nd and 3. Waters again. Ricky past the 40. Ricky to the 50. Bumped out of bounds by Sanders. And Omar Stoppmeyer in Dallas territory. Let's check in with Lynn Swann. Lynn.
Well, just to go back to Barry Switzer and the Dallas offense for a moment, he told me at halftime he needed his offense to possess the ball, move it down the field. He had to get the ball to Michael Irvin to make something happen. And the reason is because his defense was getting tired. He felt they were on the field too long. They were getting exhausted. He says, we've got to come out and make something happen. He also said the blitz that the Eagles were using was one they had not seen before. He believes they picked up the blocking for the second half, Al.
They better hope they have, because it was very effective in that first half. Thank you, Lynn. First down at the 46-yard line. Play clock down to 0.
He didn't get it.
He didn't get it off.
Delay.
Now, you're right, Lynn. I'm sure the Cowboys spent all halftime working on that blitz pickup. It's also safe to assume that Emmett Thomas knows that and will come with something different here in half number 2.
Delay again. Offense, 5 yards. Repeat first down.
Again, though, even with that penalty, a very impressive drive so far by the Eagles. A couple explosive runs by Ricky Waters. John Gruden, their offensive coordinator. What he's calling is working.
1st and 15. Detmer surveying, dump off Waters, but he gets wrapped up for the loss and shoved out of bounds. But a flag is thrown by Antonio Anderson.
It came down very late and upfield.
Well, I don't know why Detmer ended up throwing it to Ricky. The Cowboys sniffed this screen out. We're all over it. Ty gave up on it right away, looked elsewhere, didn't find anything, and still threw it to Ricky Waters when he had nowhere to go.
Ron Blum originally indicated ineligible man downfield, but then pointed toward Dallas. He meant Philadelphia. Corrects the call right now.
And Dan, you know, on a screen like that, when it gets out of sync and out of timing, you run a real risk of having those linemen who can't see what's going on moving downfield.
Ineligible player, number 61 offense, illegally downfield. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
That's the center, Steve Everett, out in the screen, got beyond the line of scrimmage, got the flag.
You saw Ricky Waters tied up with rookie defensive tackle Antonio Anderson all the way out of bounds. But you're right, Frank. Once a screen is out of sync, it's not ever going to get back in sync.
Makes it 2nd down and 18 from the 46. Crowd really into it now. Detmer underneath. Hits Jason Dunn. Short gain, tackled by Randall Godfrey. It's a pickup of about 3. It'll be 3rd and 15.
Funny how something as seemingly trivial as a 5-yard penalty changes everything. The Eagles doing extremely well running the football. All of a sudden have a delay of game, get into a 1st and 15, and now back-to-back passes, and they haven't netted a yard yet.
Philadelphia up by 8. A little more than 9 minutes to go in the 3rd. 3rd down and 15. Only a 3-man rush and 8 back, and somehow it goes through the arms of a defender and into the hands of Michael Timpson, through the hands of Charlie Williams, but still short of the 1st down.
I think it was right between his hands. I think he thought he might have had the interception.
Tough situation here now. I assume you're going to punt it. It's a 55-yard field goal or somewhere in that vicinity.
They're at the 38-yard line. It is 4th down and a long yard.
If it's the old rules where you get the ball to 20 after a missed field goal, I think they tried. Oh yeah, you saw that it was tipped and yet still caught.
And should have been caught by Williams.
Tom Hutton. Dion calls for a fair catch, but he's going to let it go at the 6-yard line. It was actually Kevin Mathis calling for the fair catch. Mathis was back and let it go, and the Eagles down the ball at the 10. So Aikman and the gang come back down 17-9. Troy Aikman and Ty Detmer, the opposing quarterbacks tonight, and here is the quarterback comparison. Detmer, well, he's not going to dazzle you with those numbers, but he's been effective, and Troy having what for him is a terrible night.
Played a lot of football to see a couple of mediocre passing numbers like that.
First down from the 9-yard line, and Emmitt Smith begins this drive with a 1-yard gain up to the 10. Second down and 9. 8:20 to go. Third quarter. Philly up 17-9.
To this point in time, you just can't say enough nice things about the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. They are flying to the football. They are being stout at the line of scrimmage. They are battling the Cowboy receivers every inch down the field. Key right now, Troy Vincent out of the game, isn't coming back. Can Charles Dimry hold his own out on the corner?
Second and 9. Nothing happening. Red Hall, nice play. Hall made that interception last week. Key play of the game against Brett Favre, leading to the victory. Former 49er.
And that time working against Nate Newton, and he takes Nate back to the inside, and Nate Newton playing with really only one arm. He's got a bad right shoulder, going to need surgery at the end of the season, and Nate Newton not able to control the guy across from him the way he would like to and the way he has in years past. Again, exact same number of rushes, double the production for the Eagles.
Third down and 10. Here they come from the corner. Aikman throws, and it's caught, and it's Irvin making the catch. Got position on Dimry and picks up a key first down. Bobby Taylor blitzed that time, and so Dimry was left out on the island with Irvin and Michael Beacham.
Exactly. He was man for man, but the key thing was Dallas this time picked up the blitz and gave Aikman time to throw the ball. Here's the move. Irvin on Dimry, who has to respect the deep move. But Aikman with plenty of time to throw. That wasn't the case in the first quarter and into the second quarter. Aikman under tremendous pressure. That time they picked up the blitz. He had time to throw. A perfect combination.
Well, Switzer told Swanee that they knew how to pick it up, and they did.
Aikman throws, dangerous pass, and it is hauled in by Eric Bjornsson, though Brian Dawkins thought it hit the ground. Officials say no, he caught it.
Bjornsson now in his 4th year, still is not giving to this team what Jay Novacek did over the years. And that is that other receiver, the clutch man who can take it deep, take it across the middle, pick up the first down. He's rapidly improving, but he's down to about 220 pounds now. And here's the big man, LaFleur, the #1 draft pick out of LSU. They expect big things from him.
Second down 8 from the 23-yard line. Emmett finds enough of a hole to turn it into a decent gain out near the 28-yard line. Tackled there by Charles Dimry.
Up close looking at Emmitt Smith coming right at you, but not experiencing the massive holes he's seen in the past.
3rd and 3, and it is dropped by Eric Bjornsson. Started to look upfield before he looked it into his hands, and Dallas forced to punt.
Well, he would not have had the first had he caught the ball. He made his move short of the first down. That's kind of a cardinal no-no. And he was looking for the oncoming truck, I think. And he found one.
The rookie punter Toby Goen. Mark Say back for Philadelphia. Wobbly floater. Say on the run from the 35, brings it back to the 44-yard line. Tackled there by Billy Davis. So the Eagles have it near midfield. 5:08 left in the third. Philadelphia 17, Dallas 9. Here is tonight's Monday Night Football prudential fact. The Dallas Cowboys last week at Arizona losing the game. As you can see, the Cowboys turned it over only once. Arizona turned it over 4 times. The Cowboys outgained Arizona by over 40 yards. First game in 5 years in which a team lost a game with a +3 advantage, turnover differential, and outgained the winner. But that was their fate last week, and tonight they're down by 8. Detmer starts to drive from the 45. Ricky Waters breaks tackles, takes it to the 46, and close to a first down. Deion Sanders trips him up.
Well, you can be hurt with the passing game on the blitz, but the run game can hurt the blitz also. That time, Cowboys coming with the blitz, they blocked it out beautifully in a big hole.
And if the Cowboys defensively are tired, as Barry Switzer said at halftime, then there is no better way to come at a tired defensive team than to come at them with a great back. And that's what the Eagles can do with Ricky Waters.
Second and, in effect, inches. Now they opt to play it conservatively and move the sticks as Kevin Turner picks up a couple.
There's Fred Strickland, the missing Dallas middle linebacker, the normal starter in there. He hurt his knee last week, his right knee, and not sure when he'll be back. And Vincent Smith has to move from outside to the inside. The Cowboys are so thin at linebacker, they only dressed 4 tonight. And keep in mind, a rookie on one side, a second-year guy in Randall Godfrey on the other. That's thin.
Here comes everybody.
First down from the 44. It's a floater. It's a duck that's thrown out of bounds.
I think Coakley hit him right at the end, didn't he? I think talking about the linebackers, I think the rookie got in there and got a piece of Detmer.
Dallas now living with the blitz. Deion wanted an interference call. That ball was uncatchable.
Dexter Coakley listed at 5'10", really closer to 5'9", if I were to guess.
That's what Deion was complaining about.
And justifiably so. Deion has as much right to catch that football as anybody else.
Second and 10 from the 44. Late third quarter. Dallas blitzing. They pick it up. Swing it out to Ricky Waters. Rances his way to the 35-yard line, a little shy of the first down. Randall Godfrey with a blitz that time, but picked up, and Ricky puts him in a position where it's third down and short.
Good pickup of the blitz and a good read by quarterback Ty Detmer, and heads up by Ricky Waters.
Another key part of the Dallas defense missing right now, Chad Henning's strained groin, and that's why Antonio Anderson, the rookie out of Syracuse, is seeing a lot of action. Third and a long one. Waters. First down to the 32-yard line.
An offensive lineman's dream. Being able to hammer it away at a defense. You have the lead. You have the luxury of being able to run the football. And right now, Mayberry and Panos and Everett, Beckles and Brooks are having fun.
Well, for the second week in a row, Dan, it's been this hot weather for the Dallas Cowboys. They had all kinds of problems in the fourth quarter last week against Arizona in that heat.
From the 32. Detmer buys time. Throws 20-yard line. Irving Fryer. Been pretty quiet tonight, but they go Irving's way. Former Patriot, former Dolphin. First catch of the night for Fryer.
Well, he has been attracting double coverage wherever he's gone on the football field. I know Barry Switzer, when they went into this game, said we've got to stop Ricky Waters and we've got to stop this man, number 80. He is the lifeblood of this passing game for Philadelphia. You take him away, and you saw the numbers a moment ago. They were under 100 yards.
And a first down pass and completion for a first down. Right now, John Gruden has Dallas on their heels.
Here's Waters, and he's now gained 97 yards. A flag is down. Antonio Anderson makes the tackle, and it's against Philadelphia. So make Ricky's number 96. Ray Rhodes wearing his John Thompson towel.
Well, he knows how much that hurts. You've got a good thing going.
10 yards, repeat first down.
Some guys just scowl better than other guys.
Oh, they do.
And we said it earlier. He just is so intense. He can literally will these players to play a little bit at a little higher level than they ordinarily would. That's tough to do today.
1st and 20 from the 29. Detmer throws, and it's Kevin Turner making the catch, and he's tackled by Vincent Smith.
Kevin Turner came from New England, where a few years ago, I think in '94, he caught 52 passes or something like that. Well, he can catch the ball. He's primarily known as a blocker and a short yardage man. Tough guy. Played with slight concussion last week against Green Bay. Shouldn't be admiring it. You shouldn't do it, but he stayed in there. Well, he's a good receiver coming out of the backfield.
2nd and 8 from the 17-yard line. Ricky Waters can't swing to the outside. Good play. Darren Woodson, one of the reasons he goes to the Pro Bowl, a play like that. Very good, obviously, in pass defense, but a terrific run stopper as well.
But look at the end of these plays, how slowly the Cowboys are getting back to their feet. This is a drive that is taking an awful lot out of the Dallas Cowboys defensively. These guys are whipped. They are tired and they are struggling. They are fighting. They're playing right now on emotion alone.
3rd and 10. 3-man front, clinching up front.
And give a lot of credit right there to Shante Carver. He got Mayberry to go.
He's been complaining all night about it too, Dan.
Going offense.
You're not allowed to come into the neutral zone when you give that flinch. That's the old Neil Smith move. But if you do it in your stance, if you do it without crossing the football, it's legal. And Carver that time got Mayberry to go. This is when you're poised and ready to go. Watch at the bottom of your screen. That's it. That's simulating the start of a play.
Makes it 3rd down, 15 from the 24, and they give it to Waters, and he gets bottled up at the 22. Now you're looking at a 39-yard Boniol field goal to put Philly up by 11.
Very conservative call on the part of Ray Rhodes. He has a lot of confidence in his defense.
And that kick will come when the 4th quarter commences, because that's the end of the 3rd. In Texas, the Eagles 17, the Cowboys 9. Monday Night Football returns after this from our ABC stations. Back in Irving, Texas, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, Lynn Swann. We start the 4th quarter. Philadelphia trying to go up by 11. As you look over Emmitt Smith's shoulder, Chris Boniol to attempt a 39-yard field goal. And it will probably come from a different distance now. It will not affect a 1st down situation because it's 4th and 12.
Prior to the snap, 65, false start. 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
Bubba Miller. Right now the Cowboys are having a field day, flinching over on their side of the ball and getting somebody in an Eagles jersey to pull up out of their stance.
It will now be a 43-yard field goal attempt. Tom Hutton to hold it. Boniol has made one and missed one tonight, and this one is good, just inside the left upright. So he's made them from 49 and from 38, and the Eagles lead the Cowboys 20-9. 4th quarter.
And the Cowboys' biggest weapon is that guy right there.
They'll need him again here, Herschel Walker, to jumpstart them.
Herschel has certainly done his part to give the Cowboys outstanding field position time after time.
Cluster coverage. Boniol's kick is a wobbler, and that just does stay in bounds at the 10-yard line to Brock Marion. And despite pinning him, there are the Eagles again, and their shortcoming rears its ugly head as he brings it all the way back to the 42. Boniol knocks him out of bounds.
Boniol shows a little speed for a kicker.
Yeah.
I thought Brock Marion was going to be able to turn the corner. Chris Boniol really sprinted for a kicker.
Boniol also got the ball to the man he wanted to get it to keep it away from Herschel Walker, and Marion runs it right down their throat.
Joe Alvazano is so happy because that's a whole lot more than he expected. Fielded at the 10-yard line, right on the sideline. And this is pretty doggone good speed by Chris Boniol.
48-yard return. Now Dallas in business again at the 41-yard line. Aikman throws, going deep, caught, over the shoulder catch. Michael Irvin inside the 15.
And Bobby Taylor with pretty good position. That ball perfectly timed out with Michael Irvin, and I can't tell you how many times they practiced that.
Well, the playmaker doing everything he can do to fire his team up. Michael Irvin is the emotional leader of this football team.
Look at this. It is on the inside where he should be. Again, that very physical pushing and shoving on the part of Michael Irvin that doesn't seem to draw flags.
And a perfect pass from Aikman.
From the 14, Emmett Smith dances his way down to the 10-yard line, banged hard by William Thomas. Emmett a little slow in rising.
How many times tonight have the Cowboys had that great field position and just couldn't get it in?
Well, they don't even want to hear the two words that begin with an F and a G.
Last 7 drives inside the 20, going back to last week in Arizona. No touchdowns. 2nd and 6. Smith. Emmett takes it to the 6. It'll be 3rd and 2. He's tackled there by Andy Harmon, and Emmett now has gone almost 5 full games without scoring a rushing touchdown.
Well, certainly now looking at the best opportunity he and the Cowboys have seen in quite some time.
3rd and 2. Will they try to hammer it out? It'd be a great time for a play action.
Miller split left, Irvin split right.
I'd give it to Emmett.
They send Johnston in motion. 3rd and a long 2. They're going to throw it. Aikman under pressure. Aikman has to throw it away. And they're going to hear those ugly words.
Boy, this credit an Eagles defense that is playing brilliantly tonight.
And the crowd boos.
The defense is like they've been in the Cowboys huddle.
They're not exactly greeting the arrival of Richie Cunningham as happy days.
Another look, just no place to put it. You can't blame Troy. Saved the sack, just threw it away.
I'd have been tempted to pound it in there.
24-yard attempt by Cunningham, and they get 3. That's 4 field goals tonight for Cunningham. 9 in 2 weeks.
Well, you make it a one-possession game.
In.
You're back to a touchdown and a 2-pointer to tie it up.
College football coming your way Saturday. The headliner is Nebraska-Washington. Most of you will see that. And there are the other games, Arizona, Ohio State, and the rest. We go to Jacksonville next week. The Jaguars on Monday night for the first time. What a great scene that'll be as the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the undefeated Jaguars from Jacksonville next Monday night. This is Witherspoon bowling in the Toby Golan kick at the 4. And he's tackled at the 16-yard line. Dallas special teams doing a good job tonight. Mathis makes the tackle. Meanwhile, the Dallas offense still a picture of frustration. 4 field goals, and they're down 20-12. 12:43 left in the 4th quarter. Philadelphia has the ball. They lead by 8. They start this drive from the 17-yard line. And they give it to Ricky Waters. Gain of 2. To the 19-yard line. 2nd down and 8, and a marker is down.
A late one.
Against the Eagles for holding. Referee is Ron Blum.
Holding. 80 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Miller Lite, now the official beer sponsor of the NFL. The new Dodge and the new 4-door Ram Quad Cab pickup. The rules have changed. Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. And Southwest Airlines, it fares so low, you have the freedom to fly. Troy Vincent hurt in the first half, listed as a strained shoulder in a sling, looks on from the tunnel. Meanwhile, Barrett Brooks, the tackle, was just hurt on the last play for Philadelphia. Jerry Kraft spells him. 1st and 18. Pressure is on. Waters takes the swing pass, and Woodson wrestles him down at the 11-yard line.
Good play by Woodson. You can juke him all you want. He's going to line up on your belt buckle, and he's going to take you.
Darren Woodson has played a really special game to this point. He's been making tackle after tackle, big play after big play. Exactly what you want out of your strong safety. He is a force in their running game. He's been a force in their passing game.
2nd down 15 from the 11. Detmer guns it over the middle, but a short gain. It's complete out to the 16-yard line. Waters makes that catch, and he's tackled there by Vincent Smith.
Very conservative on the part of the Eagles. John Gruden calling the plays from high up above, and I'm sure that Ray Rhodes has a thought that he's added from time to time, just to kill ourselves. They haven't tried to do anything of any low percentage.
3rd down and 10. Detmer hangs in, throws, and it's incomplete, intended for Irving Fryer, blanketed by Deion Sanders. 4th down.
And Irving Fryer's hurt.
Irving is. He's slow getting up. I thought he was just tired, but now he's limping.
Ooh, and this is critical for Philadelphia. Chris T. Jones is not playing tonight. And Irving Fryer there on the break. He did it on the break. When he went to go to the sidelines is when he injured his right leg, it looks like.
He planted it, drove off it, and it looked like he could have hurt his right knee.
That's Chris T. Jones right there on the sidelines already, and now it looks like he's going to be joined by Irving Fryer. So the Eagles are going to have to, if Irving doesn't come back, may have to finish this game without their number 1 and their number 2 receiver.
Look at it again. He plants the heel right there. Hard to tell, but one thing you could tell, Deion had great coverage.
And now Deion
let him
return the kick.
Well, aided by the holding call against Irving Fryer that put the Eagles into that 1st and 20 situation. They couldn't get out of it.
Deion with his own unique routine to get loose. Tommy Hutton to punt. Low liner. Deion angry because he couldn't field it on the fly. Has to grab it on a hop. And he's tackled at the 35-yard line. Looking to lateral. Deion angry. He wanted to grab it on the fly, but he's an outfielder. And he knew he couldn't get it. He'd have to short hop it. 10:48 left in regulation. Look at Jerry Jones. The look of concern. A man who really has worked very hard to reshape the image of this team. You all read about it and heard about it, how the Cowboys were going to tighten it this year. Different kind of training camp. And they were more interested in making all of the headlines on the field instead of off the field, in contrast to prior years, as Aikman from the 34 throws, and it's caught by Anthony Miller up at the 48-yard line. And things went fairly swimmingly for Dallas outside of that Lefebvre DFW with Barry Switzer with a loaded handgun in his carry-on, for which he was very contrite as they work on Michael Irvin.
That looks like a cramp. And that's what you get when you get on the verge of dehydration.
Irving Fryer having his right ankle retaped. trying to get him back in this football game. But now the concern lies with the other talented wide receiver in this game, Michael Irvin. Oh,
it's got to be a cramp. I couldn't imagine being anything else on a night like tonight.
Well, it's either a cramp or he could have pulled a hamstring. There are some. Well, there's a good sign that it's a cramp. When they force the toe back like that.
That's in the calf muscle, and I know you've been there, Dan. You push it back, it hurts.
And they work on Emmett as well. Remember, Emmett had those bruised ribs last week and couldn't get x-rayed because the door was locked to the x-ray room in Sun Devil Stadium in Arizona, and he couldn't come back into the game. Stepford Williams is a guy who saw a lot of action last week when Anthony Miller was hurt and couldn't play. Looks like he's reaching for the hamstring to begin with.
Well, it looked like he reached for his right hamstring, but they're stretching out his left leg, so confusing signals.
Yep.
Coming from the Cowboy wide receiver.
He's getting a lot of TLC, I can tell you that.
Well, Barry Switzer and others asked this crowd to dress in white, and they did, and we started to talk about the Cowboys, and we dealt with it at halftime with Emmitt Smith, and Barry wanted to change things around. He was very embarrassed, obviously, and extremely contrite about what had happened at the airport that day, the well-known story about having the loaded gun going through security and not being aware of it. And naturally, the spate of stories began again that, Barry's going to get fired. We read those stories since about the fourth week of his pro coaching career. On the other side of the coin, there's Ray. We were in the meeting last night with Ray Rhodes. He's walking out. There are a bunch of articles lying on a tabletop. He sees another one in Philadelphia last week about will Rhodes leave Philadelphia. He's walking out of the room and he says, "Don't believe any of that bleep." And then somebody said, "Well, where does it come from?" And Ray said, "They're always talking about the source is a close friend of Ray Rhodes." He says, "I have no close friends."
Well, this looks here bad for Michael Irvin, though.
I'm sure he does somewhere along the line, but they're not allowed to say who it is and who they are.
Meanwhile, Irvin needs assistance, and Dion comes in, and that's Dion at the top of the screen. Chin strap dangling from the 48-yard line. And Aikman throws for Dion, but can't communicate with him.
That was a double out by Dion working against Bobby Taylor. Bobby Taylor was not impressed with the double out. Let's take a look at it. A little out move, then it looked like you're going to fly, and then you take it out again. Top of your screen, man-for-man coverage. You're not too concerned about Dion. Now you're doing that. Now you do it right there. Taylor spins around, but when you're that far away from the passer, you can do the spin around and get back to the ball.
Really trying to work on the left calf of Irvin.
2nd and 10. Flag goes down. There was flinching and movement, and Smith carries the ball to the 42-yard line of Philadelphia. But let's see about the call.
Ron Blum moving at a leisurely pace.
And speaking with, well, he's a golfer.
And he's not headed for a 4-hour round at this pace.
And he and Aikman are going to go over the options here. The pass, see, Smith took it to about
Offside.
the 43.
59 defense. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
So they opt to take the play, which leaves them with a 3rd and 1 at the 43-yard line.
Mike Mamula was offsides. And Larry Allen, remember, gone on the right side. The strength of the Cowboys offensively now lies on the left side of their offensive line.
Tight formation, and Aikman's going to do it himself. He needs a long yard and appears to have it. Willing his way to a 1st down. And Blum makes it official.
And Ray Donaldson's not that big man at center anymore. A little risky there with Clay Shiver trying to fill in for the big Ray Donaldson, who retired.
Yeah, Shiver is new at the center position. Nate Newton is banged up at left guard with the bum right shoulder. Larry Allen is on the bench.
Pretty risky call right there.
Mark Tuinei in his 15th year in the league. The good news is Eric Williams is back better than ever over at right tackle.
From the 42-yard line, they pick up the blitz, and it is caught by Step Fret Williams, who comes in for the injured Irvin. First down at the 25 on his first catch of the night.
Good timing between Aikman and Williams. See the good timing. Williams had no choice. He had to catch that ball because he turned around and looked for it, and it was right in his face. Third-round pick a year ago. Let's take a look at Stepford. 6 feet tall, kind of frail, but 5 receptions last week against Arizona and really pressed the Cowboys. It's a bad scene here.
Yep. Michael just can't get that calf muscle to loosen up.
8:20 left in regulation.
They didn't get this.
And that's the second time they've had to take a timeout in this half. So here's a team trailing by 8, needing to conserve timeouts. They have to get into the end zone in effect twice to tie the game. Once on a touchdown and again on a conversion. And now they're down to only 1 timeout.
Yeah, it looks like it's loosening up now.
Of course, the concern right now is whether or not it's a cramp or whether maybe he pulled the calf. Maybe there's actually some. He's pulling his socks back up, so maybe we'll see Michael Irvin back out on the field.
The last 14 scores for the Cowboys on Monday Night Football going back to last year in the Philadelphia Monday night game. Field goals. Remember, there was the Green Bay game last year that they won 21-6 on the 7 Boneyol field goals that precipitated that fight at the end of the game. And tonight, all field goals. Last year, Dallas was the team that beat Green Bay and New England without scoring a touchdown in either game. First down from the 24. Aikman off balance, going to the end zone and throws it out of the end zone, intended for Moose Johnston.
You know you're running out of receivers when you line Moose Johnston up at a wide receiver and run him on a fade pattern.
Yes.
You know you're getting a little thin at the wide receiver position.
One would think you'd see a little Herschel Walker in there before you'd see that.
Moose was lined up to the wide side of the formation.
Don't get hurt, Moose.
A valiant effort for a ball that was about 6 yards out of bounds. And Michael Irvin now putting his gloves back on.
There's Walker. You saw Sanders. None of them in on second down and 10. And Aikman guns it and completes it to the 10-yard line to Eric Bjornsson. First down.
Boy,
tackled by Dawkins.
Clutch pass and a clutch reception.
And Mamula put the pressure on and knocked Aikman to the turf.
And Troy's a little nicked. Troy is really trying to gather himself. That hurt. He's going to, from the right side of your screen, Mamula came in from the back side. Good throw and a really nice job of Bjornsson staying with that football when Dawkins was all over him.
First and goal just inside the 10-yard line. Troy to the air. Good protection. Throws underneath. Caught at the 4. There's Moose Johnston. Second and goal. William Thomas wraps him up. Irvin's going to try to come back in the game.
And the big tight end comes in, David LaFleur. 2 tight ends.
Emmitt Smith, Emmitt Smith, Emmitt Smith. Got the ball at the 3-yard line. Pound away.
Ninth play of the drive, out of the eye. Johnston the blocking back. Emmitt the eye back. Emmitt Smith seeking the end zone. Wrapped up at the line of scrimmage and thrust back by his ex-teammate Darren Smith.
Philadelphia last week so good against Green Bay inside the 5.
And there's not a whole lot to the outside against this Eagle defense with their speed.
Well, there was a day not too many years ago, Dan, where you'd take it right up the middle.
He looked back to the inside, and Michael Zordich, the strong safety, was in the hole.
That was when Donaldson was there, and Allen was healthy, and Newton.
Third down and goal. They give it to Smith, who tries to cut it back, and Emmitt gets pounded at the 4th and goal, and James Willis makes the tackle.
What you can't do against this kind of speed is change direction on it.
And if you're looking for a big difference in this Dallas Cowboys football team, here it is. Back-to-back nothings out of Emmitt Smith and his offensive team in a pressure situation down on the goal line.
Just losing the war at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's not Emmett's fault. Nothing there.
And to Richie Cunningham for a 22-yarder.
Timeout, Philadelphia. Their first charge team timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
Eagles with perhaps the wrong personnel on the field.
And again, guys, this should send tremors through the Cowboy organization and through their support base, their fans here. Their inability to pound the football. This is a football team that in the 90s were the class example of being able to pound the football, and now it appears to be a lost start here in Dallas.
They had everything going on opening day. They routed Pittsburgh. It shocked everybody, and then last week couldn't get into the end zone. Their only touchdown last week, a defensive score. Still stretching out Michael, as the Cowboys will need to get the ball again and get it in. The only good thing about this field goal is that at least they won't need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, but they'll still need a touchdown
to just tie. You're right.
22-yarder, Cunningham's 5th of the night if he makes it, equaling his total last week. 13 for the season for the guy in his first year.
So our last 2 trips here, we've seen 12 Dallas field goals.
We have.
So far.
Well, this is the time when they're going to be talking to the Eagles offensive team and basically telling them you can win a football game if you can go out there and put a drive together. Dallas down to 1 timeout, and the Eagles, we know, are certainly capable of doing just that. They did it against Green Bay.
Captain Aaron Jenkins, and we mention Aaron because he's going to retire after flying the Goodyear blimp tonight, and there he is high above Texas Stadium in Irving, just outside Dallas. A reminder, check out the NFL online at NFL.com for score, stats, and all the rest at that address. Next week we go to Jacksonville. What a great scene that's going to be. The Jacksonville Jaguars, and only God knows who's going to start at quarterback as Moose gets some oxygen. There's a slight chance it could be Mark Brunell. Rob Johnson hasn't practiced, and he led him to that win on opening day, and then Steve Matthews led him to the win against the Giants, and they've got the ex-Steeler Jim Miller. Who knows? But what a night it's going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. Jaguars Steelers.
Saw some footage this week of Brunell taking some pass sets with a leg brace.
Derek Witherspoon brings it back to the 20-yard line. That's going to be a lot of fun the next 2 weeks as we go to Jacksonville for the first time and then into Charlotte for the first time ever the following week as the Panthers take on the 49ers.
Good news for Philadelphia. It looks like Barrett Brooks, their regular right tackle, is coming back onto the field. Remember, he came out the last time the Eagles had the ball.
This is a gut check time now for both sides of the ball here. The Dallas defense and the Philadelphia offense. Fans know it.
Aren't those fun, Frank?
First down from the 21-yard line. They give it to Waters. He picks up 2. Up to the 23. The Eagles will now take as much time as they can between plays to let the clock tick down. Again, it can only stop once with a Dallas timeout and then once more at the 2-minute warning. Waters tonight 18 carries, 99 yards.
Philadelphia has to be a little careful they just don't get too conservative about this. One thing Detmer has shown that he'll not hurt you.
Here comes Dion over to shadow Irving Fryer in the slot.
He takes the play clock all the way down to 3. They give it to Waters, and Ricky very close to a 2-yard shy of the first down of the 29, setting up a very crucial 3rd and 2.
Oh, and this, boy, does that run give John Gruden, their offensive coordinator, a lot more options. Boy, he has his playbook has expanded by a bunch when you're now looking at 3rd and a deuce. I think Deion Sanders drinks coffee during a football game to stay awake.
They don't go that way very often. 3rd down and 2. Huge defensive play for Dallas.
Just locked up with Irving Fryers, Deion.
Waters doesn't get it, so they hold and they'll get the ball back.
Well, when the Dallas defense had to do it, as long as they've been out on the field, they came through. And a very frustrating 3 in and out for Philadelphia.
Tom Hutton, 6th punt of the game. Deion Sanders standing back at his own 25-yard line.
Working up the crowd.
The man who leads the National League, the National Baseball League, in stolen bases, even at this point.
Boy, does he want this ball.
And he's going to get it at the 29-yard line. Gets an initial block. Works his way to the other side of the field. Turns the corner. But runs a long way to pick up only about 8 yards. Billy Davis with a block. He's out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
And Jason Dunn, I think, was the recipient of that block.
He was, and he really is shaken up.
Jason, the man on the edge. He'll come into the screen on the left. And right there, you see the finish of that block by Billy Davis.
Caught Dunn right in the chest, and Dunn is slow coming off the field.
When you don't see those coming, those are devastating hits.
Eagles 16-0 in the regular season under Rhodes when leading after 3. Amazing. Part of it is this team is in great shape. Rhodes whips them into great shape.
Well, here's a wonderful opportunity to demonstrate it.
Well, he has collected a group of players that think and feel like he feels. It's a 100% effort at all times.
This drive starts from the 39. Dallas needs to go 61 with 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning. And Aikman had it slip out of his hand and incomplete. Moose Johnston, the intended receiver.
Well, that will happen on a very warm night also. Your wrist gets wet and it drips down into your hand, drips onto the ball.
I can't imagine many other quarterbacks I'd rather have in this position than Troy Aikman. You can tell just by looking at him that he's pretty much unfazed by this.
Irvin, of course, back.
On 2nd and 10. Aikman throws, and that's almost picked off and knocked down by Rhett Hall, who had the interception last week on the Brett Favre backhander. 3rd down and 10.
Michael Irvin is going to leave. He can't do it. He's cramped up again, and just when they need him the most, he's going to have to leave. Again, trying to get it to Johnston.
Well, and as is oftentimes the case, the one defensive lineman who doesn't get any penetration at all ends up blocking the football. Rhett Hall never left the line of scrimmage and yet had the presence of mind to get up and block the pass.
3rd down and 10. Stepford Williams in the game to replace Irvin. And they're reduced to trying it on the ground. And Emmitt Smith can get only 5 to the 43 where he's tackled by Zordich.
Oh.
And the crowd sending a message to Ernie Zampese.
Not a nice one. And that is a questionable call. You've got 3rd and 10.
Well, they've got to go for it now.
They have to.
Well, you figure you're in a 2-play situation, but well, I guess with Michael Irvin on the bench, Anthony Miller would be the logical choice for the receiver to go to.
It comes down to this. 4th down and 5 from the 43.
A little flare to Emmitt wouldn't be bad either.
Emmitt stays in the block, and it is incomplete, but a flag is thrown. They call interference on Dimry. Right in front of the Philadelphia bench.
Oh, and the Eagles players are out on the field. They better.
And the Eagles again saying it was deflected, and the officials will confer.
Well, the Eagles are saying it was tipped.
In which case, that would negate that call.
It would negate it, but we certainly, for the naked eye, I couldn't see it tip.
Did Mamula touch it? 59. Whoa.
Boy, it's hardly perceptible, but we could see it on slow motion. He did.
38 defense. Get off the field. Pass interference. 38 defense. First down, Dallas.
Interjecting a little message to the Eagle bench.
A lot of the Eagle players ran out onto the field and are fortunate they didn't get called.
We are at the 2-minute warning. Yard line. Michael Irvin not in the game. Aikman, swing pass, Emmitt Smith to the 41-yard line. Cowboys have one timeout. Another look at the deflection, not seen by the officials, but you can't blame them on this one.
No, watch very, very closely. The left pinky finger of Mike Mamula is going to hit watch the ball rise. See it go up? He hit it, but look, he did not change the rotation of the football. It's very easy to understand why no official saw it.
2nd and 7, and it's thrown, and a diving catch is made by Eric Bjornsson at the 18-yard line.
What a great effort by the tight end who used to be a wide receiver at the University of Washington, and you saw him acting like a wide receiver. He stretched out for that ball. It was overthrown. He made a brilliant catch.
24 yards, a guy who actually started as a quarterback. Cowboys conserving their sole timeout. From the 17, Aikman to throw, swings it to Emmitt. Emmitt will step out of bounds to stop the clock with a minute to play. Dimry forces him out inside the 15. 2nd down, 7.
What a pass, what a catch by Bjornsson. Laying out. Talk about a big play for your team when your team desperately needs one.
The playmaker on the bench, Michael Irvin. They don't have him. They bring in Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker's a good receiver. He can work out of the backfield or he can work in the slot, and this time they'll put him in the slot right.
In the slot, Shepard Williams wide right, Anthony Miller wide to the left. Aikman hustling out of the pocket. Aikman throwing to the back of the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown by Miller.
Troy Aikman kept that alive. Anthony Miller, who they said they needed back desperately at wide receiver, they were right. But Aikman throwing it back away from the way he was running, a brilliant pass.
And look at that. That ball was actually hit by Watson. Watson tipped the football, and Miller stayed with it.
And the Cowboys will go for 2 to try to make it a 3-point lead. Remember, Philly gets the ball back with 51 seconds, and they have 2 timeouts. Troy throws, and it's incomplete, so it's a 1-point lead, and a Philly field goal would win the game as Darren Smith put the pressure on Aikman. So as Irvin and the rest look on, Michael out of the game because he's hurt. Miller missed last week's game because he was hurt, but he's the hero of the moment. It's 21-20, Philly to get the ball back with 51 ticks to play. This stadium going wild. Another look at Anthony Miller, picked up as a free agent in the offseason. Watson got a hand on it. Miller stayed with it.
Well, first of
great
all,
concentration on the part of Anthony Miller.
I think everybody in the stadium thought that Troy Aikman was going to run with the football and try to pick up a first down running with the football. He had tons of open field in front of him. And it surprised me when he put the ball in the air. I thought he was going to keep it. But he got it right to Anthony Miller. And Tim Watson, for a long, long time, is going to have visions of that football going right between his hands.
And going with extra adrenaline, sends it 5 yards deep, and Witherspoon is going to come out with it. And he's tackled at the 16. Darren Woodson
And 2 weeks in a row, amazing endings on Monday Night Football. I have never in my life seen a coach so stricken as Joe Bugle was last week in Oakland at the end of the game, nor have I ever seen a coach so ecstatic as Barry Switzer just was as we saw that replay following the catch.
And this one is not over. But Anthony Miller, Barry Switzer told us last night, we need him back desperately. What an understatement.
First down from the 16. They have 2 timeouts remaining. And Shante Carver comes across the line.
Well, Mayberry at left tackle is
been doing it all
wiggling
night.
and wobbling and all sorts of movement over there in his stance.
This won't help Philadelphia. Again, a difficult throw by Aikman. With this ball deflected by Watson. Great pressure by Miller.
But right between Watson's hands. When you look at that over and over, you keep expecting on one of these replays, Watson's going to intercept it.
First and 15. That's Philadelphia's 13th penalty of the night. Detmer guns it to the 35. Caught by Freddie Solomon, the hero last week. He caught the winning touchdown pass against Green Bay. Philly wants to conserve its timeouts. Detmer says, I'm going to spike the ball here to stop the clock. And he does with 28 ticks left.
Bonio's record, his best kick is 52 yards, and that's the kind of range you're going to have to get into.
How ironic, if it comes to this, that we could see Chris Bonio in Texas Stadium line up a field goal in an attempt to beat the Cowboys. I guess in this era of free agency, we should get used to it.
From the 37. Detmer guns it too high and incomplete, intended for Michael Timpson. Fryer back in the game. Irving was shaken. He was covered that time by Kevin Smith.
Well, Ty had to step away up in the pocket. Shante Carver with the pressure from the outside. Timpson was open. Detmer just couldn't get him the ball.
Detmer knew he was in trouble and about to be sacked. He just fired it a little too high and a little too high.
From the 37 on third down. Fired to the 50, juggled, caught. Timpson makes the catch at the 50. Timeout Eagles. 16 seconds.
Well, and the key here, the key is that the Eagles still have 1 timeout left. So they can work the middle of the football field. They're not restricted to throwing to the sidelines. They can use any part of the field they want because they can stop the clock to get Boniol on the field.
Boniol's career-long 52 yards. So to kick a 52-yarder, you have to get to the 35-yard line. They're at the 50. That 52-yarder for Boniol was 1 year ago today as a Cowboy against the Colts.
Well, what they call is going to be dictated by what they have picked up, what the Cowboys use in given situations. This one, and ideally you would like to throw it into the middle of the field and get a run and then kill the clock.
From the 50, it's a 4-man rush. Detmer, he may have been across the line of scrimmage. It's caught at the 30-yard line. It's taken there by last week's hero, Solomon, who takes it to the 5-yard line, and they'll take a timeout as the clock ticks down to 1 second.
And there's no flag. No flag anywhere on the football field.
Detmer was very close to going across the line of scrimmage.
What an emotional yo-yo these coaches
Take a look
have
at
been
this.
on.
We're sitting right on the 50.
It was so close.
There's your line of scrimmage.
Just short of the 50.
He's going to be close.
On the
no
Eagle
question.
side of it. Look at that. He's across. And the Eagles can say, well, so what? Mamula tipped it, and it shouldn't have been a pass interference call, and that's why Dallas was able to score.
Again, there's a good look. The ball just short of the 50. Oh, the foot and the ball both across the 50.
Yep.
And the crowd's looking at that also.
And he's inside the logo.
Yeah.
It's the star. The official was starstruck.
Right. I'll disregard that. Both the foot and the football were across the line of scrimmage when he delivered it.
22-yard attempt for Chris Bonio. Tommy Hutton to hold it, to win the game for the Eagles. And Hutton loses the football.
Do you believe this?
And Dion will tell you it's divine intervention, and nobody's going to argue with him.
And this game is over.
Unbelievable.
Eagles players are throwing their helmets. They're lying all over the field.
That was impossible. Hutton juggled it, got it down. Bonio was out of sync. And then Hutton loses the ball, and that's the end of the game.
He had plenty of time.
Can you believe that?
Nope.
Bizarre.
Bonio still had time. There was no Cowboy rush whatsoever. If Bonio could have somehow reset himself and just taken a little punch at it, he might have been able to get it up there.
Barry.
I am a lucky man. Repeat that 10 times, Barry. I am a lucky man.
I mean, where do you begin to write the story of this game? Where do you start? That is one of the, that's as improbable a win as we've seen on this package in God knows how long.
How about I've been here 27 years.
You know
I've never
something,
seen one
though?
like this.
If you're a Dallas fan, you can say you deserve that because Detmer was across the line of scrimmage when he let go that pass.
Jacksonville next week. Until then, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, Lynn Swan, good night from Irving, Texas.